thought is that we'll get your ideas, we'll hear your thoughts, keep them up. Phase 1 will build the new portion of the building while the old building remains. Then students can move into the new building. Then we'll tear down the old building and complete the new construction in phase 2.
The comment that you made about maybe tearing down the old school.
Yes.
I think it's a good idea because we don't want to put a building that's falling down to a new building. We don't want to do that. We want the whole site to be revamped, and so these people will have a building for themselves.
I've always talked to young people into finishing school, but fall on deaf ears. So this is why I was interested in coming to see what exactly the program that you're proposing. Maybe this is the way to interest the kids to come to school. That's my only objective.
My name is Ina Steeder, and I'd like to let you all in that I'm one of the original elders. And I've always dreamed of something like this, but I want to be in on it.
We have modified these schemes as late as last night, and we modified these schemes yesterday when we met with the students. All along here, these dark areas are basically glass, so that it reaches out into the community. Entrances, there's a south entrance here, there's a north entrance here, and a west entrance over here. Is that we're trying to retain as much green space as we possibly can. And what we do know is that there will be a variety of centers and options for students to work with adults.
It's learning across community. More of a model of learning that I think you as elders are very familiar with, and that is that the adults in the building, the professionals who are running the library and running the health clinic and running the police station serve like elders. They serve as the mentors. And students are all learning from all the adults, not just their teachers.
They begin to look at young people as people with assets, people who have great value. We want our students to feel like this is their facility, it's where they belong, and they are respected there, and they are valued. We're looking at connecting students to doctors, nurse practitioners, lawyers, business folks in the community, engineers, you name it.
This was a name given by the students. The students are starting to talk about Washington Park. So
yeah,
that's
well,
why
we should get that changed before they hang on to it.
Yes.
Probably was a good president, but I'm thinking, like, why don't we call him, something by our
Wonderful.
native people instead,
Yes.
like Poundmaker and there's Riel, and, instead of using,
Sure.
you know what I mean, the white man's names, if you will.
Like in the U.S., the black people had Martin Luther King, and now Obama,
Yeah.
And in Canada, us Indian people have never really had any particular heroes, I think it would be really good if we asked our youth who their heroes would be, the community heroes, with the naming.
And how are you going to get your message across? If you keep quiet and this kind of discussion goes on, you got to remember keeping quiet and saying nothing is also a decision. Maybe that's somebody interprets that as okay. So you have to say, okay, this is what we need, this is what we want. I'm going to be honest here and blunt. If you're offended, I apologize. I need elders to be elders. I need your Indianness. I'm glad everybody's educated and has a lot of backgrounds and working with different organizations. But we need the Indian in you to come and say, this is what the school needs. This is your facility, this is your future, this is your children, this is your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. What do you want to put in there to protect it?
Okay, I consider myself a traditional elder because I know what it is to be an Indian. And I'm saying right now that children, they really don't know what we're getting into. And if we bring in our native culture, that's good so much sweat. Moyan makes skate we have to teach them. And I'm with Larry, Nanaska, want to thank you for thinking of us elders that way. I'm tired, I'm sick and tired of having things done for us without our input.
What I wanted to say about the sweat lodge, I'm a young person, and I know that I might get in trouble to say this, but I believe there are so many people in North Central, and these people need something close to them because they're living in chaos, they're living in trauma, there's so much going on around them. If this place is so dirty, then why are we leaving these people there that we can't even put a sweat there? If it's so disgusting there, then why are we leaving live human beings there? A sweat lodge, to me, if you act right in there, if you act right, you have a few minutes with those grandfathers. You don't get much time with them. They come if you act right in there. It doesn't matter where you are.
What was said about spirituality within the city? You know, I don't know what we would do if we all thought like that. We're throwing our people away. The elders are not here to look after them. The thing that we wanted to have there is a sweat lodge so that we can bring these young people and show them what it is to have a sweat lodge. Not to get on a bus and go out of town. That's terrible. I've known some elders who said, you know, I will not bring my pipe into the city because it's dirty. Well, I said, well then what you're doing is you're throwing your people away. Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as an elder. I brought my pipe in here, and it's a very sacred pipe. It belonged to Chief Star Blanket. And I've used it all through the city. We have young people out there that know their First Nation, they know they're Indian, but they don't know what tribe they belong to. You know, things like that. My God, you know, we have to, as elders, we have to work hard.
As an educator, I'm much more interested, I'm much more concerned about how this is all going to, what's going to come out of the woodwork relating to the effectiveness of the education programming that's going to take place. I think that's the key part.
The changes in the learning model, for example, in the school, is going to be a first for the city in a much bigger way. The move to project-based learning and the learning across the community concepts. And I think we're going to find this school is going to start to be attractive to students from across the city in ways that it hasn't been in the past.
The steering committee has yet to reconcile the idea that this is a multicultural group of human beings that will be served in this facility, many of whom will be of First Nations or Métis ancestry. What we're trying to do is create a facility where finally, at long last, Aboriginal people's ideas about living a meaningful life, a productive life, living wisely in this world and living in a way that's noble and respectful, those ideas are front and center. So this is a really important conversation for us to have.
I see wonderful things happening. I see people doing good things, and I see new houses being built all the time. I see lots of things are changing dramatically. I continue to expect that those things will continue to evolve and change. And I expect our community will become take more ownership. Like my analogy is, if we're going to build a school that is currently predominantly Aboriginal people in that area, we must reflect that.
And so, you know, I think that if you can come together as a group, you know, in next week or the week after, and we can sort out the answers to some of those questions, once that direction is there and we can provide that to Randy and his team, they will design into the building the solution.